over the world, Honorable Speaker, this institution, that's the National Assembly, its type operations attest to the type of government you have. As was said, the initial cost was approximately $10 million. We are now seeking additional 16.8, about 17 million, meaning we look forward to a complex, National Assembly complex, worth 27 million US dollars, not $27 million.
The loan agreement sealed on October 2012 is rated by deputies as a non-controversial deal, which aims to provide state-of-the-art facilities and services for the Gambian legislature and the people they vow to serve.
The government of the day, by coming up with this project, is really working on towards democracy and good governance.
Good governance and cautious focus on national revenue had surpassing impact on the approved national budget, calling for a 2013 supplementary appropriation bill of $300 million meant to finance health security and diplomatic representations.
To improve revenue administration, the operational requirements of the Revenue Authority will need to be adjusted in order to help improve compliance and revenue collection. Also, we have received information that our Chancery building in London is in a deplorable condition and needs urgent reconstruction. As we speak, the High Commission is using a residential area to conduct business of the government, and the temporary permit that has been given for that purpose is coming to expire.
With government's net borrowing valued at $611 million and 1.8% of GDP, it is hoped that government will reduce net borrowing to 0.5% of GDP in order to preserve a stable national budget, constantly overlooked by health and other prominent sectors. Ibrahim Ajara, GRTS.
Well, officials of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education and partners have gathered for the bi-monthly meeting to discuss policy implementation, especially at school level. The latest round of the Coordination Committee meeting is underway at the Region 1 Directorate in Canifing. Louis Mendy has details of that story in this report.
Officials of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, principals of schools, and in-country partners supporting education have begun a 5-day dialogue on the attainment of the country's education motto, which hinges on access, relevance, and quality. The bi-monthly exercise called the Coordinating Committee meeting, in short the CCM, is the monitoring instrument of the ministry in relation to policy implementation, especially at regional and school levels.
We say we want to make sure that every child goes to school from grade 1 to grade 9, all right, that is from 7 to 15. But we have to see whether that is happening. So anytime we come to CCM, we go to the school, we talk to communities and see how are we succeeding in that. We talk about quality. Now to improve quality, we go to the school, we buy the textbooks. So when we go to the school, we want to see whether the textbooks are in the school. We want to see what impact the teaching and learning has as far as the students are concerned. Now, if we just sit in our offices, we will not know that. That's why we have to go to the school, we talk to parents, we talk to people, you know, and see exactly what is happening on the ground. That is why we see that CCM is very important. It's the most important monitoring mechanism as far as the sector is concerned.
Introduced in 2008, the CCM is credited for accelerating the attainment of the education sector goals.
That first meeting, we visited 10 schools. Only one of them was positive. All the other 9 were negative. It was serious. Right now, from the last CCM, we find that nearly all the schools that we are visiting, there is a lot of improvement. All right, the parents, everybody is now talking about CCM. All right, the communities, everybody knows that CCM is happening. Okay, and we see improvement. If you look at the NAT, the National Assessment Test that is conducted every year for grades 3, 5, and 8, we see improvement. All right, and that's what makes us really happy that things are actually moving in the right direction.
CCM evaluates what happens at regional and school level. Momodu Tangara, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, said the initiative is a step in the right direction. Minister Tangara is with the conviction that his ministry can only succeed if the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education succeeds, since it lays the foundation stone for the latter.
That the CCM is about a good initiative aims at improving on the work of all the sectors involved at the level of the basic and secondary education. I think it's an excellent initiative because it gives us an opportunity to assess, evaluate the work that we are doing. I think in this country people are afraid to be evaluated, to do self-evaluation. But if we want to make any improvement, I think this is a sine qua non condition that we must go through.
Mrs. Ann John Cisse, whose region is playing host to this multi-sectoral convergence, said the platform gives valuable support to her as a regional director, and so she believes it's the same for other education regional directors, school heads and teachers across the country.
Regions have mandates, and their mandate is to coordinate the implementation of all educational programs in the region. So we always look forward to CCM coming to work with us at the level of the region, and we constantly look at implementation. We monitor curriculum development, we monitor curriculum delivery, we also monitor the school environment, we also monitor quality assurance.
This is the last CCM for the 2013 academic year. Minutes of the previous CCM held in Region 6, as customary, will form part of the discussions at this interface. Also, delegates at this meeting will take a day outside the confines of this hall to visit randomly selected schools within the region to see what they are doing. Recommendations and resolutions reached at, especially after the exercise and all others during the week-long discussions, are expected to be vigorously pursued by regional education directors and heads of schools. The goal is to actualize the attainment of the education MDGs, the purpose for which the CCM was constituted. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The Council of Ministers and experts from the economic community of West African states recently concluded a meeting in Abuja, Nigeria. At the meeting, the ECOWAS Commission President, Kadra Desire Ouedraogo, disclosed a list of 6 West African economies, among them the Gambia, with the potential to record a minimum of 7% growth rate in 2013, which is sufficient to meeting the Millennium Development Goals. Abdullah Baji tells us more about that in this report.
An ECOWAS Commission report has ranked the Gambia second in a list of 6 West African countries projected to record a minimum 7% growth rate in 2013, sufficient to meet the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs. The president of the ECOWAS Commission, Kadra Desire Ouedraogo, disclosed that this is the first biannual report to the 70th session of the Council of Ministers, which opened in Abidjan on Thursday. A 7% growth rate is the minimum economic threshold required to achieve one of the 8 key MDGs agreed by world leaders in 2000 to be achieved by 2015. The 6 ECOWAS member states mentioned in the Commission President's report that would achieve or surpass the 7% rate, which is also projected growth rate for the region in 2013, are Sierra Leone with 17.1%, the Gambia with 8.9%, Cote d'Ivoire 8.0%, Liberia 7.5%, Nigeria 7.2%, and Burkina Faso with 7.0%. President Ouedraogo noted that these achievements hinges on the goal on poverty reduction and more than double the global growth rate. The president said the impressive growth rates confirm the dynamism of economic growth in the region. According to his report, the increase in ECOWAS growth rate would be in consonance with projected real GDP growth for Senegal with 4% and Guinea with 4.5%. 2 other countries with negative growth in 2012 will also experience positive economic news, with Guinea-Bissau projected to post a 4.2% growth, while Mali is expected to record 4.8%. The president sought to tie the economic success to good microeconomic policy management over the years, particularly in terms of fiscal discipline and downward inflationary trends. Abdullah Baji, GRTS.
Well, a young man in Essex